Hi guys, welcome back. It's your girl Yummy.com. Thank you for joining me, my internet friends. I can't believe it's taking me long to do this. Of course, we have, yet again, if you've read the title, another ShipUp video. But I can't believe it's taking me long to ship these two groups up. They are actually both my, in fact, alt-bias groups in K-pop. They are both the groups that I listen to the most, that I love the most, that I know the most about. However, their numbers don't exactly add up, so I've always been a little bit weary about it. But you know what? I'm gonna try, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna go for it, go for gold, baby. I think that we finally figured out a way for it to work. The groups that I'm talking about are, of course, the group that I have shipped up the most, BTS, and the group that I've never shipped up, actually. In fact, I never even made a a fan journey video about them, even though I should. Maybe I'll get on that next. But it is, in fact, Mamamoo.
둘, 셋, 아셈, Mamamoo. 안녕하세요, 마마무입니다.
안녕하세요, Mamamoob니다. It is Mamamoo, if you couldn't tell by that intro. You already know what I love about BTS. Of course, they're charismatic kings who can dance and have worked hard and are just great overall. But what do I love about Mamamoo? Everything. Their talent in music, their talent in dance, but like they also are just the vocal queens of the K-pop world. Undisputed and, you know, just uninterested in the bullshit, okay?
Talking about where we going?
And I love that about them. They are strong, fierce, and have the best range and music and consistency and music and concepts that I love. And like all of their names kind of like, you know, have to do with nature, which is really cool and I really like as well. Being said, Mamamoo has 4 members and BTS has 7. Those numbers don't exactly even out. Like, even if you were to double it so that every member in Mamamoo gets 2 people, it would still not be 8, like, say, ATEEZ. But, however, I decided that we're going to do that, in fact. We're going to double it so every member in Mamamoo gets 2. And one member, they will share one. The 2 of the members will share one person. You know, we're going to go through Mamamoo and we're going to give them each 2 and I'll tell you why I chose those 2. Now, in order to do that, I'm going to need my handy dandy notebook. Okay, let's get started, shall we? With the queens of K-pop, of vocals, of everything. The queens and stars of honey vocals. There we go. We are going to start with our fearless leader, Solar. Solar is the leader of Mamamoo. She is a singer. She is amazing. I mean, they don't really have roles really within Mamamoo. I mean, they have roles, but they don't have roles really. They just all kind of do like all awesomeness and stuff. But Solar is a phenomenal singer. She is wacky. She is quirky. She is cute. But as soon as she steps on that stage, she evolves into something else, like some other being. Another thing that I really love about Mamamoo is that they are boundary breaking. They do not take no for an answer. And I know what you're thinking. If you know Solar the way I know Solar, you're like, oh, she's gonna put Solar with JK because, you know, they're both the muscle of the group. or she's gonna put a Solar with Jimin because, you know, they both have a tendency to rip their shirts off, you know? Iconic moments in K-pop history. For everyone. But no, those are not the two I'm going to put her with. I am putting her up with J-Hope and V. Now, wait, hear me out. One is a little obvious, one is a little not obvious. I chose J-Hope and V because part of her is, again, her new love of her pole dancing and exploring that side of her. And the other part of her is her amazing vocals. And the fact of the matter is, when you put both of those parts together, they don't compete with the part that she is a living meme.
미친 사람이다.
그런
응가 잘 나오는 그런
쾌변을 위한 요즘 쾌변을 위한 요즘 곤란을 많이 겪고
She is the memeiest member of Mamamoo, which is really hard because they're basically Mamamoo. Like, they're basically all memes almost all the time, but she is the one that is by far the most ambitious of the memes. She is funny, she is quirky, she makes different noises and sounds. She's just completely herself, and it just, when you capture that in a GIF, it just makes for a hilarity that ensues constantly.
나 저런 포즈를 언제 한 거야?
So that's really why I wanted to give Solar both J-Hope and V, because at the end of the day, they're all the most, like, the entertainers of the group, like the you know, the showman entertainers of the group.
나는 아직 잘할 수 없어. 2020년 조금만 기다려. 잘했어?
The most fashionable member of BTS. Listen to that. Listen to the crowd. Listen to the audience. Let them speak for you. That's what I'm talking about. Absolutely.
그냥 그 시절을 얘기하는 겁니다. 그냥
그때인 거지 그때.
예, 저는 닭가슴살에 소금 뿌려 먹은 것도 되게 혼났거든요. 근데 이제 정말 좋은 공간에서 이렇게 되게 다 가족같이 이렇게 지내는 모습 보니까 너무 행복했습니다. 아, 제가 행복한 건 아니.
죄송해요, 저희가 고장 났어요. 죄송합니다. 네.
That is J-Hope and V, and that is also Solar. Also, they would make hilarious content on her YouTube channel.
안녕하세요. 솔라시또 솔라입니다. 오!
It would be phenomenal. And also, again, the vocals. Like, both J-Hope and V have a lower range, and so does Solar. She has like a wider, lower range, and I think that that would mix very well with the whole shebang. So that's why I shipped her up with J-Hope and V. Next, we are going to go with our rapping queen, Moonbyul. Moonbyul is she's my bias within Mamamoo, which is really hard because they're all amazing, but she's definitely my bias. I love her so much. She is just so iconic in her ways. She was a singer, but then she taught herself to rap because her company wanted her to rap, so she became a rapper, but she still sings. She's amazing. She has like some of the most, she has like, I think she's the most compositions, like writer credits of like any generational, like any like her gen idols. Like she's like the most writer credits because she writes all her raps for every Mamamoo song, which is amazing. She is thought-provoking. She's also a stunning dancer. She's the performer. She's one of the performers in the group, so she's an amazing dancer. And for that, I'm going to give her, of course, Suga and Jimin. Obviously there are other people she could have totally been linked up with, but I just felt like Suga and Jimin made the most sense in this scenario because of obviously the composition, being a composer and a writer of music and a lover of that.
저희 아야 곡은 저도 이제 작사에 참여하게 됐는데 썩은 이빨 뽑아내야지 라는 부분이 있는데 그래도 그 이빨조차도 뽑아내면 아프잖아요. 그런 썩은 이빨을 뽑아내면서까지 그 미련을 없애고 싶어 하는 그 마음을 담은 노래니까요.
네. 멤버들 없이 바늘상은 처음이라 네.
The dance skills that it takes to help lead a group. Yes, J-Hope is our lead dancer, but you know, really Jimin, I feel like Jimin and her would have like some amazing dance chemistry that they could do together. Also, she has the girl crush style. Like she's an idol who's clearly more comfortable in pants than she is in dresses. She's unapologetically herself, and that style also kind of reminds me of like Suga's style as well. Someone who's very much like into when they're like dressed for themselves. It's like black, baggy, chill, dope. Like that's kind of like their look, and so she's a similar kind of aesthetic in that regard to Suga. So other than being a composer and a rapper,
우리는 좀 확실해. 우리는 말로 안 써. 우리는
뭐 앞으로 걱정하신 죄송한데 좀 잘 안 봐요. 많이 쓰셔도 돼요. 앞으로 쓰셔도 돼요. 회사에서 고소하겠지 그럼.
she also has that style aesthetic, and that's kind of why I put her with Suga. And then for Jimin, like she because she auditioned as a singer, became a rapper, and then didn't rap for a while, she has like stutter. She had like sort of an insecurity with her voice, which is something that Jimin has voiced himself about being insecure because he was one of the shortest times of like being an idol, like being in, like he had like a short training time for developing his voice, and so he's always been insecure about that. And so has she been insecure about her voice. So I think that they can share in that. Also, again, the dance skills. Also, Jimin is famously known for the fact that once you Jimin, you can't Jim out, and he will seduce your man. That's just what it is, okay? Like, I'm not saying that he wants your man. I'm saying that he could get your man. And I love that about him. We all love that about him. Jimin just be turning harems of men, and you know.
Nah, Jimin's looking way too pretty, fam. I'm not gonna lie to you. He should have. Nah, he should. Jimin needs to behave himself, you know. Hey, Jimin, I'm a straight man, fam. I'm straight, fam. I'm straight. I love females, fam. Don't be looking this pretty. Jesus.
Not even gay, but I would totally bear children for that man.
Who turned to harem of women? Yes, Moonbyul. She literally she's the nation's girl crush. She makes the girls fall in love, and you know, you can't help it. She's just so charismatic. She's so sweet. She's charming. She listens to you.
나 오늘부터 문별 한번 팬하려고. 아 깜짝이야. 나 문별 너무 멋있어. 어떡해? 나 문별 팬할래. 아까 랩하는데 심장 뛰어. 아직도 심장 뛰어. 문별 사랑해요. 언니. 언니.
나도
언니한테 마음이 갔나 봐요. 좋아했구나.
이거 뭐야? 이거 뭐야?
재밌다.
치명적이야.
별이 언니. 언니 왜 저한테 답장 안 해요?
귀요미네. 집착녀예요, 집착녀.
왜 바로바로 답장 안 하냐고요.
Steal your girlfriend. While Jimmy will steal your boyfriend, Moonbyul will steal your girlfriend without you like even blinking. Like you blink and your girlfriend or her boyfriend is gone. So that's something that they have in common outside of, again, insecurity about their vocals, but still lovely singing voices, amazingness in dance, and iconicness in that. But then also, you know, they're just so appealing to the gender, like, and she like also like they like go for it, like they both like say like screw gender norms, like screw that, like Jimin will do whatever he wants, wear whatever he wants, even if it's like a feminine look, he won't care because he's like screw gender norms. And she's the same, she's like she'll wear whatever she wants, whatever, and she's like yeah, call me handsome, I'd rather be handsome.
잘생겼다는 말이 좋아요. 이유는 이쁜 사람은 너무 많아요. 여자로서 이쁘신 분은 너무 많은데 이제 여자가 잘생긴 경우는 되게 드물잖아요. 그만큼의 매력이 있다라는 소리로 들려서 저는 잘생겼다라는 말이 좋습니다.
Like she's like screw gender norms, screw your whatever. So the fact that they're both like that is why I put them together. And that's why Moonbyul has Suga and Jimin. Next up, we have Wheein. Well, that was bad. Next up, we have Wheein. Wheein is she's the more reserved one out of all of them, which is not saying a lot, but also not saying a lot, because they're crazy with each other. Outside, it's a little bit different, but like they're like the kind of people who's like, you know, we're cool, but then once you get to know us, you know, then you see our true selves. And Wheein is like that more so than any of them. She's a little bit more guarded, but she is also known for her powerful, dynamic vocals, especially when she dances as well. And I gave her RM and JK. know what you're thinking. Why RM and JK? Well, there are several reasons why. I wrote a really long list. She has a very powerful pushing vocals, like doing a lot of runs, which reminds me of JK, especially when JK started doing like My Time. Both of their vocals give me huge R&B vibes, like just big R&B vibes, big boisterous vocals that can carry a loud running so long that it looks like walking, like just runs for days with the power in their voice. And also the dancing that she has is such a versatile skill. She has such different stylings of dancing, and JK can kind of pick up any style of dance as well. As we have seen throughout the nation's world, which is all the time. She also has a crazy falsetto, just like JK has this crazy falsetto as well that he can flip into. Just their head voices are just really phenomenal. Now, oh, she's also like the golden child as well. She's been known to be like called the golden child, and we all know that JK is the golden maknae. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why RM? That seems like a little bit random. Well, I think her personality, while her talents may lean toward JK, I think her personality leans more towards RM. Kind of calmer, kind of chiller, obviously wild as especially when they're with their group. But they live on the calmer edge of things, which is like, oh, maybe Suga also lives on the calmer edge of things, but it's like there's also like this artistic vibe that is in both of them. Obviously we know that RM lives for a museum, lives for understanding and understanding the world, reading books, seeking knowledge, and seeing the beauty through the scope of a museum and beautiful different art pieces. And she's the same way. It's often been said that if she wasn't a singer, she would be a visual artist.
가수가 되지 않았다면? 엄마 따라서 뭔가 그림이나 아니면 사진 쪽 이런 것 하고 있을 것 같긴.
Like a painter of some sort. You can see some of her art pieces in her songs. She's just such a talented artist, and I think that pairing her up with RM, who is similar in personality and has the same appreciation for art, would be amazing. And that's why I kind of wanted to put them together. That's why I put her with JK. I put her with JK for the talent half of her, and then RM for the personality half of her. I think that those would blend and mesh well. Yes, she is still wild. Yes, they are still wild, but they are like the lesser of a wild bunch. So I think that that's why I put them together. I think that's why I put them together. I think it's very cute. The last, but certainly not the least, is my bias record within Mamamoo, Hwasa. She was in my BTS, in my Bias Record of the Year video last year, she was in there and had my heart because she is, just simply put, amazing. She really does say the patriarchy and your mom's patriarchy and your dad's patriarchy. She has really also carved her own niche and lane within K-pop, everyone talks about, obviously, the iconic speech where she talks about, like, I figured if they weren't gonna, I wasn't gonna change myself so they thought I was beautiful, I was gonna make them see my beauty, basically, is what she was saying. Well, maybe I'll put the actual clip here.
어느 날은 오디션을 봤는데 거기 선생님께서 저한테 그러시더라고요. 너는 개성도 강하고 노래도 너무 잘하지만 뚱뚱하고 예쁘지가 않아. 그냥 울면서 이제 막 집에 달려가가지고 컴퓨터 앞에 엎어져가지고 막 엉엉엉엉 울다가 갑자기 제가 전에 다운받았던 콘서트 영상이 너무 보고 싶더라고요. 그래서 그 영상을 틀어놓고 밤새도록 울면서 그 무대를 주구장창 보다가 어느새 저는 이런 다짐을 했더라고요. 이 시대가 말하는 미의 기준에 내가 맞지 않다면 내가 또 다른 기준이 되어야겠다.
That is one of my favorite things about her. But for her, I wanted to give her Jin, because obviously he's our last one that we haven't used. And then our repeat is going to be V. Now, I think you're wondering, why did I choose V? That's so strange. Well, it's not really strange. I chose V because they are both, like, vocally huskier, rounder, lower singing voices. They're kind of known for their rasp.
Winds flow, we winds flow. 달라져 버린 닮은 우리도 소리 없이 눈물이 흐르면 No, no, no.
외로움이 가득해 비어있는 그 시트 속에 이 모래 속에는 날 외웠어.
Not really sure how to fit it right. Something in the way you move makes me feel like I can't live without you. It takes me all the way. I want you to stay.
Within their voices, so that was a big factor, obviously, for talent. She's like a secretly sweet, like, sweet girl, like, very sweetheart with her members, and I feel like V gives off that aura sometimes. Like, he's obviously very caring for his members, but he's always like, yeah, I love you guys, but whatever, you know, don't make a big deal out of it, like, you know, kind of a vibe. So I think that matches up. They both also dance amazingly in heels. Roll the clips.
음악 주세요.
They are known for their faces. They're iconic in faces. Like, if you were to put their faces in a lineup, any part of their face, you would be able to identify it. They have some, actually, I would say 2 out of like the top 2 most iconic faces in K-pop, most distinct faces in K-pop that most people recognize, and they're also both very charismatic. Now, on the charismatic side, you have Jin as well. Jin is also very charismatic, which is why I put him with Hwasa. Also, Hwasa is the one who receives the most hate, and I feel like Jin doesn't necessarily receive the most hate, but when he does get hate, it's in the same way that Hwasa does. Hwasa gets hate for her looks, for being different, for looking different, and Jin gets hate for his vocals because his vocals weren't as strong, and then he worked to strengthen them, but people still try and hold that like part where they weren't as strong up against him for all of that, which is like so dumb. But so like in a way, his vocals equals her looks. Like, they're both, in my opinion, stunning and flawless. But other people tend to pick on them because of them, but they have made that their strength, like their weapon to go into battle, and I truly appreciate that. Amazing and smart and just beautiful that they do. And the last thing as to why I'm putting her with Jin is that they also both have a rebellious streak, particularly with their hair. Like, there's the story about when Hwasa they were supposed to debut, and they told them, don't do anything to your hair. And then she came with a chopped haircut. She doesn't like being told what to do.
It's also known to be the more rebellious one of the group. Not maliciously, she just doesn't like being forced to do anything. And like all the members, she values her individuality. Like that time their CEO told them not to cut their hair before they debut, so she rocked up the next day with a brand new pixie cut.
We all know Jin's iconic meme where he was taking scissors to his bangs. Like, they both don't, like, they're both the people who, like, if you want them to do something, say the opposite. Or if you don't want them to do something, say the opposite. So, or just don't say anything. You're better off just not saying anything, because they will do whatever they damn well please. And so that's why I put her with Jin and V. So that's kind of the ShipUp aura that I'm going for with BTS and Mamamoo. I think both of the groups are iconic, great, phenomenal, and I can't wait to hear and see more from them. I can't believe I haven't done this sooner, but that's how we're going to go out with a bang. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Yummy.com. Hopefully we'll do more ShipUp videos. Don't worry, I will be back, so stay tuned, my internet friends.